Hi everybody, in this video I am going to walk you through the example of a good argumentative or persuasive paper. But I have two things I want to start with. This is in your modules, so I do suggest that you either read this paper before you listen to this video, or as soon as you finish, you download the paper and you read through it again as a way to think about some of the things that I'm going to be talking about here. So the two things I want to say before we begin, though, is that this particular paper is a long paper. You'll notice it's about 8 pages, and it begins with a title page. Now, I am not asking you to do a title page, but this particular example does have one. Title pages are common in long papers, papers that have many sources. You will probably be writing some longer papers in your future courses, and you will need to do a title page, but for this course, this paper, you do not. So don't panic that you see a title page here. This is just an example for us to take a look at the ingredients of a good essay. So focus your attention here only on the ingredients of a good argumentative essay. You still want to do your formatting in the regular way that we've been doing, with your name, my name, the course, the date in the top left corner. Second, this particular paper uses APA formatting, okay? So you will see some differences in how the author notes page numbers and integrates in-text citation. So don't really focus on the details of the in-text citation. Instead, as I said, we are looking at the ingredients of a good argumentative paper, or even to some degree, the ingredients of a good essay. All right, so we have, first of all, a nice title, The Positive Effects of Technology Used by Children. It's not particularly creative or innovative, but it does clearly give the reader an idea about what the paper is going to be talking about. Now, I suggest that you pause the video and read the introduction here, so I don't need to read it here for you. So pause the video, read the introduction and the thesis statement. Okay, now that you're back, let's look at the ingredients here. She begins with a hook. She begins by naming typical things that children or young people do using technology. She gives us an interesting background discussion, and then she ends this paragraph, this introduction, with a very nice, clear thesis statement. And this thesis statement identifies the topic and then narrows down and clearly states what her argument is. She's going to argue it can be positive. And then it lists her 3 arguments, the 3 major points of discussion within the paper. So this is a very nice introduction. You might begin your introduction by telling a story, giving some background information that your reader would need in order to understand what your argument is. But an introduction should be somewhat long. You'll notice this is about 2/3 of a page, and it definitely ends with a clear thesis statement. You absolutely need that, because you'll notice that each of her following body paragraphs, she discusses it in the same order, okay? So reason number 1, it allows children to excel academically by experiencing the expanding definition of classrooms and literacy as a whole. That's her reason number 1, and that is the focus of her first paragraph. Improves low-performing developmental skills. That's the focus of her second body paragraph. Supplement in-class education for more academically advanced students. This is the focus of her third body paragraph. So her discussion follows the same order that she presents in her thesis statement. All right, the next thing I would like to point out is here on page 3, she has a quote, and you guys are going to have a quote too. And you'll notice that she tells us, she introduces the quote. She tells us who says this, okay? So she includes that in the sentence, according to Curvin, okay? So when you quote something, you want to, in the body of that sentence, signal who said it, okay? So then she has her quote. And if you notice, she follows the quote with some more information, okay? She includes her quote, and then she follows the quote by giving either an evaluation, or she explains what the quote says or meant in different words, okay? So in this way, if you'll notice, we have almost half a paragraph where we've got the quote, and then we follow the quote by either an evaluation or an explanation, a restatement of that quote, okay? So you can see that, okay, we've got the second body paragraph, and we can see that it follows the same order as the thesis statement. She's got a nice topic sentence that tells the reader what the focus is going to be. Okay. And then too, she also uses some evidence. She integrates some evidence to support her argument, okay? She introduces it, okay? So she doesn't just put in the information from the source, she introduces it, okay? And then she says something a little bit more after that, okay? And I'll let you pause the video and you can read through this paragraph so you can see what exactly she does, how she is able to integrate this evidence, how it fits into her discussion, and how she follows up. So pause the video and read through this on your own. Okay, now that you're back, we are moving on to the third body paragraph, and the example points out that she is just following good paragraph development. She has got a clear topic sentence that introduces the topic, what it is she's going to be discussing. It matches her third point from her thesis statement, and she develops this idea. And we can see that she is integrating evidence to support her discussion. She has got several pieces of evidence to support her discussion. Okay. And this is very nice, very nice discussion to support her third point, which is it can help students who are high-performing students. It can help them enhance their learning environments, okay? So let's take a look too. We'll notice that for the most part, the paragraphs are very well developed. So I would like you to carefully read through this example, and you'll see that each paragraph is almost a page long just for the discussion of the argument, because she's bringing in external sources to support her ideas. All right, so she's got her three arguments, and now she has a counter argument. Okay, her counter argument begins: some scholars and researchers claim that there are negative impacts of technology on a child's developing mind. Okay, this is what other people say, and it's excellent that she did this because it enhances her credibility. We can tell that she's carefully thought about this topic because she has researched what other people who disagree, who take the opposite point of view, what they say. Okay, so she includes their evidence according to one research studies, Scholars claimed that modern evidence also suggests that early exposure to purely entertainment content and media violence in particular is negatively associated with cognitive skills and academic achievement. Okay, so she presents the other argument, but then she says, although there is validity to this argument, this theory excludes educationally driven programming. Okay, and she goes on to discuss or to critique the other argument. Okay, so this is very important in your counter argument part of your paper. You don't simply identify what the other side says. You also need to demonstrate why the counter argument is invalid, it's weak, it's incomplete, or simply that your argument is stronger. There may be some validity to what the other side says, but your argument is stronger. So I would like you to read through this paragraph in more detail to see how she does this, okay? So the purpose of the counter argument is to demonstrate credibility, but it is still to use the discussion to support your argument. So while she discusses the people who think that technology use is negative, she does that from the position or from the purpose of wanting to use her discussion to demonstrate that her argument is still stronger. Okay? All right, finally, in the conclusion, this is a very nice conclusion. It's about a half a page long. And what she does in this conclusion is she summarizes the main point. She also includes, here in the yellow highlighting, she also includes some information to demonstrate why the conversation, the discussion is important. And she ends her conclusion almost by restating what her thesis statement is as a way to just make a strong statement. So that's one strategy for concluding the conclusion, which is to make a strong statement. Other strategies for a conclusion, the final part of the conclusion, would be to make a prediction or to make a call to action. Okay, and then she has her reference. Oh, well, this is APA. So it says references. So she has her list of references here. Okay. So this is simply a nice example of a well-written, well-supported essay. So I think you should look through it. I know some of it is a little bit hard to see because of the text boxes, but I think if you just read through what you can see, it just simply presents a nice introduction to, or a nice reminder to, ingredients of a good essay, as well as examples of how to use either quotes or research or data or information from external points to support your essay, okay, or your argument. So this is a great model. Please review it and use this as inspiration.